I am an int J Valentinian.
I'm a triple Nero.
With Caligula Rising.
So yeah, please take a class with Barry Strauss, no relation to Leo, which is weird because he thinks like the right-wing classics professor with the last name Strauss. We were hoping it would be, kid or grandkid or something.
He's a spore.
Well, like the Roman emperors, he took the name Strauss.
It's honorific.
Yeah, that's like Kaiser.
Well, we have been loving our time so far on the Cornell campus, and I got to say,
it's very good.
We've visited a number of colleges, certainly not colleges or universities I would compare to you guys, or at least is based on something as superficial as being in some kind of league together with them. But I got to say, Cornell, best campus.
Yeah.
It's really strong.
Can't beat them gorgeous. They're very nice.
Many vistas, big on vistas.
We saw one of the gorges today. But also, there's just, some of the found art. Found poetry, you might even say?
Yeah.
Where you found some poetry?
Yeah, this was on the women's room. I assume put there by a woman, but I don't know. Dear women, good start already. You will probably walk down the street today and see other women who are prettier than you, smarter than you, more successful, in better shape, younger, faster, dressed better, and I'll tell you something. It's okay. You aren't them. They aren't you. It's not a competition. Someone out there thinks the same things about you. They are your sisters. Your uniqueness is a gift. Embrace it and each other. Sincerely, another woman.
No, keep applauding for that, please. Yeah.
Hey, what if you just have to take a shit? Like,
Doesn't make me feel good. That's basically a neg.
yeah. I know. Also, I don't look around at women and analyze them and compare them to me. And
You're going to see women who are fasting?
I'd like to see them fucking try.
That's the anxiety-inducing thing?
And also, it ends with someone out there thinks the same things about you. So watch your back, bitch.
I feel the same thing when I see Sonic the Hedgehog.
I gotta say, I don't want to play too much into the bathroom sickos rhetoric, but I do not think poetry should be in the bathroom. I think it's rude.
I think with poetry, keep it out of the bathroom. Bathroom stalls are for editorial cartoons.
Right. Right.
Poetry after I go to the bathroom is obscene. All right, folks?
No poetry after one of Matt's trips to the bathroom.
Exactly.
Am I right? Or Virgil's, for that matter. So what do you say? Should we get into our Cornell University power rankings?
Yeah.
Right.
All right, let's do it. So
It's difficult.
every time we've been invited to a university, we started doing this thing at Harvard. Boo. Where we basically did like a sort of Final Four March Madness style tournament to determine who is the most evil person that ever graduated from Harvard, and the competition was fierce. Henry Kissinger won, obviously, but we've also done this for Princeton and Yale. And I gotta say, no knock on you. If anything, it's actually kind of a compliment. When I first went into this, I was just sort of like, ooh, secondary Ivy. I don't even see like any major war criminals.
There are war criminals.
There are some. There are a few.
Your bads aren't as bad, and your goods aren't as good. It's a little Game of Thronesy. Everyone's a little more neutral.
Now, the goods are very good, as you'll see, because Cornell University, really the entire town of Ithaca, sit on a very powerful ley line. And just good vibes emanate all around. That's what, for a while, I've been trying to tell the others, like, no, you got to go to Ithaca, you got to see Cornell, because that is the most beautiful Ivy campus, which I can now confirm. The only one I haven't seen is Dartmouth, which is probably pretty nice, but compared to, like, Princeton or Yale, they look like sewers compared to this. And it's just, we're walking around, and I'm showing everyone, the buildings and named after which, evil men. And it's just, you can just smell it, right? It's just, there's a vastness to it. This is the only university that isn't a blot on its landscape.
So yeah, it was a little bit more difficult to do it for you guys because, like, you know, you look up like most famous alumni, Harvard, Yale, Princeton. It's just a jaw-dropping parade of, you know, basically serial killers who still are walk among us free.
And if you guys really keep at it, you might get one someday too.
But the cool thing about
Believe in yourselves. Maybe one of them is in this room right now. Look to your
left.
Look to your right. One of you will be on this list in 10 years.
It's more of a boutique monster. You know, these are sort of like the deep cuts. You know.
Deep cut
But
Velvet Undergrounds of war crimes.
Virgil was telling us a little bit about the history of the school, and you said it was sort of like a 19th century version of Silicon Valley, that they wanted like the best farming technology.
Better than that, it was like it's like a 19th century version of Peter Thiel Seastead. It was, of course, founded by Ezra Cornell, who was a telegraph magnate in the middle of the 19th century. And within like a decade of its founding, the original schools were the schools of arts and science, I believe a school of farming agriculture, and I think a school of engineering. And as an industrious, as a tech guy,
STEM Lord.
Cornell, Ezra Cornell, wanted the school to be, you know, very forward-looking. We want to be on the cutting edge.
In the 19th century, the STEM was an actual STEM.
All right, so for our sort of our bracket or our matchups, what we decided to do for you guys at Cornell, in the spirit of, you know,
Good vibes.
and the fact that not everyone who graduated from here is like a blood-soaked monster, but also as a tribute to everyone's favorite film right now, The Adventures, the Thandos Paradox.
I cried at the end.
We all saw it. I'm still crying.
We all cried. We all wore diapers to the theater, so we would not miss a second of Thandos.
I pissed and shit myself, but it was all worth it to just like get to the end of the movie and be like, wow, Spider-Man really was dead. There's no more Marvel movies anymore.
You know, in some cultures, if you shit your pants during the movie, it's a compliment.
So with this, we basically created two separate teams of evil Cornell alums and good Cornell alums. And we've decided to sort of, in the spirit of Thandos, sort of create a perfect balance. So like everything has its karmic opposite.
Yeah. Yes.
And we're going to sort of like keep the universe balanced perfectly between good and evil. And we're going to go through a list of the evil people will face off, the evil Cornell alum will face off against their karmic opposite from the Cornell. As we said, we were walking around the campus today, we heard a tour being given, and the woman giving it said, once you're a Cornellian, you're always a Cornellian.
Yeah.
So
here's the key to the underground monster basement.
So why don't we begin with our first, I think, like probably the most powerful matchup, probably the most evil person to graduate from Cornell versus hopefully what you will agree is the best. And there's some controversial takes on this list. So let's start with fight Paul Wolfowitz. Paul Wolfowitz is our first contender. We're gonna get to who he fights in a second, but okay, Paul Wolfowitz. What can everyone really say about Paul Wolfowitz? Well, Amy Klobuchar has been biting a lot of his style. That he was the original innovator of putting combs in your mouth after it's been in your hair. But he was the sort of Chapo regime of the Bush administration and the war on terror and Iraq. He was started out, hilariously enough, in the Pentagon Team B under the Reagan administration, which was the hilarious sort of think tank within the Pentagon that was created by the early neoconservatives to find evidence or make up or just basically say, this is actually what Team B did. They said, the fact that the CIA and all of the American intelligence apparatus has found no evidence of a Russian doomsday device is a virtual mortal lock that there is one. Yeah. And we should assume that there is, and we should prepare, for the event that Russia has a doomsday weapon or is about to blow up the moon or something like that. And then it was just to ramp up defense spending. We could never have enough missiles, never have enough spending. We got to keep it going. Then in the 90s, he was famous for the Wolfowitz Doctrine, which would be basically the blueprint for preemption that they put to such good use during the Bush
Yeah.
administration.
And it's a good rule of thumb that if you have a doctor named after you, you are a monster.
Yes. Yeah.
There's no good doctor.
There's no chill doctrine.
There's no chill doctor.
There's no doctrine that's like, just hang out with your friends,
Yeah.
be loyal.
That's not. Yeah. That's a cool doctrine, but I have not yet seen anyone create one.
So yeah, Wolfowitz, one of the unsung heroes of the Iraq War and the war on terrorism. Like I said, like a neocon godfather, probably the high-key most evil person to come out of Cornell. So we're going to pair him off with his karmic opposite. Fight, Kurt Vonnegut.
Good man. Good Hoosier man. Good Hoosier man. Drew a lot of assholes.
Yeah, Kurt Vonnegut, beloved among all of American literature for being one of the only authors to show you what his asshole.
Yeah. Yeah.
In one of
Isn't
his.
that really what all artists are trying to get at?
So yeah, like I can't think of anyone who stands more as a testament to the opposite of everything Wolfowitz stands for. Someone who is, a pacifist based on his own horrible experiences in World War II, who stood for a kind of a wounded, cynical, but also like a deep humanism in his writing.
Actually, we were saying like what would be somebody who would have a chill doctrine. The Vonnegut Doctrine literally was like just God damn it, be kind. That was like from I think Slaughterhouse 5. That's a really chill doctrine. That's a way better doctrine.
He was an editor of The Sun.
You can't edit the Sun, idiots.
Not this writing.
Okay, that's our first matchup. These are two heavyweights here. So our next evil contender is actually not one person, but a number of them who have been produced by this university. Fight the Coors family. Now, I know, if you're like me, you've probably enjoyed sipping upon a Coors Light.
Yeah, it's
when
cold activated. They're amazing.
You probably enjoyed sipping on a Coors Light when all the other beer was gone, or you were too fucking drunk to imagine drinking anything else other than just sort of, wheat water.
Yeah.
But the Coors family, I think starting with Joseph and Adolf. Again,
Great
if your
name.
if your name is Adolf, it's
That strikes 1 and 2 already. Like as soon as you're born.
Okay, the Coors family is actually, like, through their money and all the institutions and, like, the philanthropic activities they've engaged in,
Sicko stuff.
basically have a finger in every, like, major act of evil in America in the last 100 or 150 years of America. They have bankrolled, like, if there is some, like, think tank whose, like, sole purpose is to put Joseph Mengele on the Supreme Court, or just resurrect his ghost and put it into like a teenager's brain so he can live again, you can bet that the Coors family probably bankrolled it. Yep. This is a really funny fact that I learned about. They were also fanatically anti-union, and this is an amazing fact that I learned today. Until 1986, prospective Coors employees were sometimes required to take lie detector tests, answering questions about their sexual orientation, communist leanings, and how often they changed their underwear.
To be fair, that third one, I don't want my beer made by someone with dirty underwear.
You can tell a lot about a person from how often they change their underwear.
I think so.
But thanks to the Cornell Industrial Labor Relations School, you may not ask that of any employee.
It's rude.
So keep up the good work. Joseph Coors was affectionately called his own politics a little bit to the right of Attila the Hun.